What's up, degenerates? It's Stevbot 2000 with an early daily fantasy sports look for week 9 on November 1st, 2022. Now, typically, as I said on the podcast last week, I usually do most of my lineups starting on Sunday morning around 6, 7 a.m. because that's when all the news of the week has come out. Most of the inactives are released and injuries and so on and so forth. But we were asked to do an early look this week, so let's get after it. All right, fellas, so here's one of the first lineups that I built over on DraftKings with a cash game thought process. For cash games, I'm looking for a high floor. I don't really care about ceiling at all. I want floor. You're competing against 50% of the field for the most part. And I want guys that are going to get me between 15 to 20 points a game at the very minimum. All right, starting at the top, we got Josh Allen. I had to use him. He's scoring 30 points a game. He could make up for some of the other punt positions that you guys can see down here at the bottom. So that's why I wanted to use him. Same thing with Austin Eckler. He's very expensive, but he's scoring 25 points a game, well over that threshold that I mentioned, and I like him to maybe pick up the slack on some of the other positions that I might be worried about. Joe Mixon coming off a really, really bad game against another team in Ohio, and I expect a bounce back game from him and the Bengals as a whole. So I really, really like him at my second running back position. Now we're getting into some of the punts. I got Khalif Raymond. TJ Hawkinson just got traded away. So now there's going to be more targets to go around for him. I really like him in what should be a shootout type matchup with Aaron Rodgers desperately looking for a win against a team that they typically dominate. So there we go. Then I got pairing with Josh Allen, Gabe Davis. Like, I know he's been kind of hit or miss, but he's averaging around 14 points a game. That's right, just under the threshold that I like, but I think he can get me there between 15 to 20, like I said. Tyler Boyd, he has been filling in admirably in the absence of Chase. He's been having a great year, period. I hope he continues that trend. Typically, I also don't like to have more than one player for the same game, but in this situation, I'm expecting a bounce back game from Cincinnati against a Carolina team that has been surprisingly good. So I think that's going to be a shootout, and I think Cincinnati as a whole rebounds very nicely. Then we get another punt position. Foster Moreau over here in Vegas. This is going to depend largely on if Waller is still out. He was out last week. Foster Moreau was the tight end chalk for cash games last week. He scored 9 points, but again, his price point at $3,200 enables me to get most of the other guys that I really want in my lineups, like Josh Allen, Eckler, Boyd, Gabe Davis, and so on. Okay, then this is a gut play. I gotta say, I love this kid, Van Jefferson. He's back. He played last week. He played on 33 offensive snaps, and he wasn't targeted at all. That was a great game from a 49ers standpoint because we completely demolished the Lambs. But I expect a bounce back game from them, and I think they would get Van Jefferson involved. Again, this is a price point play. He's at $3,500 and he makes everything work. Same thing with my defense right there. The Panthers against Cincinnati. And I just said I expect Cincinnati to bounce back. However, Burrow has been looking like a deer in the headlights. He had a fumble last week. He also had an interception. I could see him throwing another pick six this week and getting those points to the Panthers. All right, that's going to do it for this lineup, guys. All right, guys, that'll do it for Stevbot 2000's early DFS look on Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Again, like I said, this is stupid early. Things are going to change. We're going to have injuries. We're going to have inactives. We're going to have, guys that coming out of nowhere. Value is going to be popping. I just guessed at some of the value that's there right now because we're starving for it on DraftKings at the moment. But again, I wanted to get something out to you guys. This has been so much fun. I'm going to look forward to doing it every single week, and we'll see you on the pod.